Now, let's go down the rabbit hole.
The Pope is dead. The throne is vacant.
What happened? They say a heart attack.
You know how rumor spreads, and 1.25 billion souls watching.
Well gotten, Lawrence.
It seems the responsibility for the Conclave falls upon you.
The supervision of this election is a duty I never thought I'd have to perform. They are sequestered, and they must be shielded from all news that may influence their judgment. You understand?
No sane man would want the papacy.
The men who are dangerous are the ones who do want it.
That sounds ominous.
I wonder if I could have a word in private.
You look anxious. Everything under control.
How has this been kept a secret for so long? We'll never find a candidate who doesn't have any kind of black mark against them.
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
You should be careful, Thomas.
This is a conclave, Aldo. It's not a war.
It is a war. And you have to commit to a side.
There is one sin which I have come to fear above all others. Certainty. If there was only certainty and no doubt, there would be no mystery. And therefore no need for faith.
Pope Francis has died. That's come from the Vatican. We just have that breaking news. Pope Francis has died. That's coming to us from the Vatican.
What hospital was Pope Leo born in Chicago? A simple Google search shows us that Pope Leo XIV, whose birth name is Robert Francis Prevost, all right, some say it's Prevost is how it's pronounced, we'll go with that, was born at Mercy Hospital in Bronzeville neighborhood of Chicago. The hospital is located at the corner of, and it even gives us an address, South Prairie Avenue and 34th Street. All right, this is a very important piece of the puzzle about Pope Leo that we need to have put in place, is that Pope Leo was absolutely born in Mercy Hospital in Bronzeville on South Prairie Avenue and 34th Street. Okay, what is the zip code for Bronzeville, Chicago. Another Google search, and it pops up that the primary zip codes associated with Bronzeville, Chicago in Chicago are 60616, very interesting number, okay, 60653 and 60609, okay, are the zip codes that are associated with Bronzeville, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an interesting take. We have the mark of the beast on an American pope that was just elected in 2 days. I mean, this dude was elected so fast. So fast. Now we need to look up what is the zip code for South Prairie Avenue and 34th Street in Chicago. This is Bronzeville that we're talking about here. It says right here on Google, right in front of your face, the zip code for South Prairie Avenue and 34th Street in Chicago is 60616. This is absolutely, I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the 666 mark on a pope that is in power now. You know what I'm saying? Like, this blows my mind. This dude was born in a hospital in an area that the zip code has a 666 in it.
And once again, the Illuminati card game doesn't disappoint, with the Vatican City card looking just like Pope Leo XIV. I mean, you gotta think it somewhere down the line, these popes are being trained from childbirth to be leaders of the Catholic religion. Like, they don't just allow anybody in. Like, kind of like the same with presidents. They train presidents up. These people who are to run the world and run these things have to be taught in the order of the occult, in the way that they should operate themselves. I mean, this is very well known. You know, it's just obvious as day. But this guy would have had to have been alive when the Illuminati card game was created. Okay, and I do know they have artists that can age people just by looking at them when they're young, and then all of a sudden, you know, can on paper make them look older. Isn't it interesting how the artwork on this Vatican City card looks like the spitting image of Pope Leo XIV? Moments after the new pope has been elected, all sorts of scandal has begun to come out about this guy. Just a quick search will bring up that Pope Leo XIV, born Robert Francis Prevost, has faced accusations of mishandling or covering up child sexual abuse allegations during his time as a church leader in Chicago and Peru. The Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests, SNAP, and other advocacy groups have raised concerns about 2 specific instances. Chicago in the year 2000, while serving as provenical of the Augustinian province in Chicago, Prevost allowed Father James Ray, a priest accused of sexually abusing minors, to live at St. John Stone Friary, located near St. Thomas the Apostle Elementary School. Ray had been suspended from public ministry since 1991, and critics, including SNAP, allege Prevost failed to notify the school of Ray's presence. Interesting. Potentially endangering children. Ray remained at the friary until 2002, when new U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops rules required relocating priests accused of such offenses away from children. Interesting it took that long to get that done. In Peru in 2022, as recent as 2022, a bishop of Chiclayo, Peru, from 2014 into 2023, Prevost was accused of failing to properly investigate allegations of sexual abuse by 2 priests, Eleuterio Vasquez Gonzalez and Ricardo Yesquin, brought by 3 women who claimed the abuse occurred in 2007 when they were minors. Interesting. The women alleged that Prevost downplayed their claims, sent inadequate documentation to the Vatican, and allowed Vasquez to continue celebrating Mass.
The Diocese of Chiclayo denied a cover-up, stating Prevost suspended Vasquez and forwarded the case to Rome. But the accusers claimed no formal church investigation was opened and civil authorities closed the case due to an expired statute of limitations. That's very interesting, people. Very, very interesting.
Nostra Madre Maria vuole sempre camminare con noi, stare vicino, aiutarci con la sua intercessione e il suo amore. Allora vorrei pregare insieme a voi. Preghiamo insieme per questa nuova missione, però per tutta la Chiesa, per la pace nel mondo. E chiediamo questa grazia speciale di Maria, nostra Madre. Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne, e benedetto è il frutto del tuo seno, Gesù. Santa Maria, Madre di Dio, prega per noi peccatori, adesso e nell'ora della nostra morte. Amen.
He is, of course, somebody who comes from Chicago, but also with a vast history in South America that connects him to the infamous Jesuit order. And he is from an order himself, the Augustinians, who have worked hand in hand with the Jesuits on the control of the educational establishment. Today, if you think about the main issues Trump is trying to fight, immigration policies, well, in this regard, he will have to fight against this Pope because he's very much a supporter of what the Democrats were doing, open borders and all the rest. So it's not a good day. Some Americans might perceive it as a good day. For those who were hoping in a traditional Pope, in somebody who will support also a return to the Latin Mass, this will be, of course, a disappointment because this Pope has no intention in going back, but rather in moving forward.
Is he Francis light or is he as bad as Francis?
He's worse than Francis.
Well, we got a new Pope, American Pope, and Leo XIV, who has called what's going on in the Vatican for decades, unlike anybody else out there, best-selling author, is saying this guy's worse. Why are you saying this guy is worse?
Because in the year 2000, when Prevost was the provincial superior in Chicago, he protected a pedophile, Father James Ray, an Augustinian priest. He actually protected him, and this guy had credible accusations from 1991. And although the priory was close to a Catholic elementary school, Prevost did nothing to notify the school administration of the whole thing. This guy is a protector of pedophiles. He's the worst kind of guy we could elect as Pope. And as I explained in my latest book, the Jesuits and Pope Francis worked for months to prepare this new woke Pope. And in fact, the ring of Pope Francis was actually destroyed, contrary to tradition, not after the death of Pope Francis, but only 2 days ago, because they continued to use it as a seal on documents up to 2 days ago. So God knows what these people have done with documents that will, of course, surface later on. And this guy who protects the pedophiles, who is somebody already immersed in controversy from a very controversial convent in Chicago, suddenly becomes Pope, and of course very close to Obama, the Democrats.
And a sort of a continuation of Francis without him being Francis. And we should make no mistake about it. Francis was able to put him into certain positions that allowed him to be in a position of being able to be selected Pope.
Now, let's go down the rabbit hole.